What's up everyone, this is Joe Parks and today's video is about pros and cons of Fresno. And if you're looking for information about living, playing, and working in Fresno, then this is the channel for you. This is Joe Parks and today's video is about pros and cons of Fresno. So I'm a local realtor right here in Fresno, and if you're looking for information about living, playing, and working in Fresno, then this is the channel for you. I'll be dropping new content every week, so if you want to be notified about that, remember to hit the subscribe button, like, and hit the notification bell. So we're going to get right into the jugular. We're going to start off with the cons. Now, these are not necessarily my cons, but these are the cons that, you know, if you talk to most Fresnans, this is going to come up 7 times out of 10. So the first con we're going to hit to is air pollution. We're in a valley and we're surrounded by mountains. So of course, that we don't have that coastal breeze that's flowing through. And so air quality can be a little challenging in Fresno. So if you have history of asthma or horrible allergies, then you may have some challenging times, some challenging weeks here in Fresno when we start shifting from the fall, winter, and spring. As we're shifting to those seasons, you're going to see the air quality change a little bit, and you may suffer some challenges during that time. Now, though it's hot, and as I said in this video, I'm going to try to keep it at 100 as much as I can. So just keeping it real. If it's hot outside, I'm a realtor. So I get that phone call and you want to go see a home, or someone wants to go see a home and it's over 100 degrees, I'm going to show that house. So I'm going to show up. I'm not going to, hey, it's 100 degrees, I can't go and meet you at the property today. I will be there. Albeit though, I will put, and I've done this many times, I'm going to put some ice chests in the trunk of my car. We're going to have some cold drinks, Gatorade, water for sure. And so we're going to go see those houses because the market here is amazing. So we're not going to Fresnans don't let the heat keep them in. Now the heat doesn't keep us in, right? However, for us Fresnans here, what will make us go in is the fact that we don't really have a nightlife. There's no real nightlife. And so when I talk about nightlife, for many people, when we talk about, they're thinking the club life. That's not somewhere I go, but there's a lot of people that look for that. So, you know, if you're from LA, the bigger cities, Bay Area, you're used to being out at 1, 2 in the morning, and there's tons of restaurants to go to. You might think it's 10 o'clock in the morning still, and it's 1 a.m. in the morning. Here in Fresno, about 10 p.m., it's crickets. There's one of those dust balls rolling through the streets. I'm exaggerating, but no, it does get quiet early here. So that's a negative for some people. If you're looking for that nightlife, Fresno's not a city where you're gonna go to and all night long there's club life going on. So we move on to Fresno being a great place to raise your family. When we talk about raising a family, one of the first things that comes to mind is, you know, how are the schools? I know what I love about Fresno is when it came time for me to start my family. My kids going to a good school is important, so we put them in a private school to start things off with. And then I remember, I think it was my daughter that got into 2nd grade, and she was in 2nd grade, and the neighbors looking at me like, well, what are you doing? And we had a conversation like, why are your kids going to private school? And I looked into it and found out that the public school that my kids would attend to, that was really within walking distance, their scores were just as good as a private school that I was paying all this money to. So once I realized that, I pulled my kids out of the private school and put them into just public school, and they did great. My daughter went on to be on a robotics team. They won a championship nationwide. So it was a great experience. She's now going to Berkeley, and all that from our local schools here in Fresno. So schools are great here. Another great thing about when you're raising a family, for myself, I served time in the military. And so it's reassuring to me to know that my friends that also served in the military can go to our local VA hospital here. They've been recognized throughout the state as being one of the top VA hospitals available. And it's also good for me because I know that I'm in great health now, but we never know what can happen. And it's just reassuring for me also to know that should I need it, right here in town is a VA hospital that I can go to and get the care that may be needed. I'm just really proud to know that we have something like that right here to take care of our local heroes. And then speaking of local heroes, one of my good friends, her daughter decided to become a CHP, California Highway Patrol. There were no openings here in Fresno at the time, so she was initially stationed in the Los Angeles area. That's a great area. You have beaches right there. There's lots of things to do. I mentioned earlier that Fresno doesn't have a nightlife, but the Los Angeles area definitely has a nightlife. And for my friend's daughter, although that was great, she's from Fresno, wanted to be near family. So she put in a request to come back to Fresno and found out that there are 34,000 CHP have requested to come to Fresno. That speaks volumes that this is a great place to raise families. CHP can live anywhere in the state, and they choose Fresno as a place to raise their families. So let's talk about affordability. When it comes to affordability, in Fresno, for about $45,000 a year, you can actually live pretty comfortably here. Now, don't even try that in our bigger cities like Los Angeles, San Jose, San Diego. Don't even try it. But in Fresno, you actually can live pretty comfortably with $45,000 a year. As a matter of fact, our cost of living index is so appealing. It's actually 60% lower than any other place in the state. So that kind of gives you like a measuring stick to know how affordable it is here in Fresno. The real estate market is hot. I'm a realtor, and I can attest to that because when I take a buyer out right now, if they see a home, if they don't make an offer on that property that they like, that home will be gone the same day or within a couple of days. Whereas my sellers coming on the market, it's great for them as well because they're able to sell their homes and get top dollar right now because there's so many buyers out in the marketplace. So our market is hot. We have people from the Bay Area wanting to relocate here because of the affordability, being able to purchase a home for less than $500,000 where they can't even do that where they live at. When it comes to affordability, that's a definite pro. So outdoor activities is another pro. We don't have all the beaches that Los Angeles would have, San Diego, even in the Bay Area, but our community is very active. Even with the weather being as hot as it is, you'll still find people. As I'm going out showing homes to buyers, we'll come across women in neighborhoods doing yoga. I don't do yoga, but it's nice to see other people doing it. Some of our parks that we drive by, we'll see groups of people out doing yoga and boot camps and so forth. Our community is very active. Pickleball, I'm sure if you've heard of that. I found out about it recently. I play tennis, and as I'm on the tennis courts, I've been noticing these leagues that are popping up on the courts, and they're at several of the tennis courts around town here. In pickleball, basically, it's like tennis. To me, it's like tennis, cross between tennis and ping pong. So ping pong's on a small table, and tennis is on the big court. So what they've done is take these little small paddles, and they use these to play a smaller version of tennis, but with these small paddles, it's easier to adapt. You don't have to be great at their swings, just hit the ball and get it back over to the other side. And so I've not actually played it, but the people I've observed playing it seem to be having a great time. And we have all the other sports that everyone else is doing. We're nearby several lakes, mountains for hiking, you name it, we have it here. And although we do have some hot summers, our community here is very active. They do not let the heat keep them in. So there you have it. There's definitely some cons to living in Fresno, but I think we have more pros that outweigh those cons. And so if you had any thoughts about moving to Fresno, we have people moving to Fresno from all over the country right now because we have such a hot market. And when you're looking to come to California, we are one of the most affordable places to be at. There's lots of things to do, as we covered earlier. And so if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to us. I'd love to help you. We've helped many families relocate to Fresno, and hopefully you'll be next. Until the next time, have a great day.